Hello everybody. Get my coffee. Right. Right, who's here? Hi Graham. How's it going? Hi Zed. Okay. So how's everybody's weekend been? Okay, right now, I'm not fully organised for this morning, to be honest, because there's a slight change of direction. Excellent, excellent Zed, third EP. That's really cool. Oh, it's brilliant. Such a great feeling being able to just, you know, get the stuff out there. I'll go and check it out. Where's it been released? No, that's really good, just putting it out there, because it is there, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's an asset waiting to be activated. So yeah, excellent. Well, trying to wake up. DistroKid, great, great. Brilliant. No, it's great news. Hi, Des. So basically, yeah, so talking about EPs, it looks like I'm going to be doing an EP. EPs are the latest craze. Thomas is doing an EP, and I'm doing one. Might as well come along to the party. Now, so the interesting thing about my EP is it's probably already done. I just need to put the guitars on. So I was actually going back to the old automatic music making machine, and there was actually a whole column with Hutch's EP. Right, so there's one kicking about there, and then obviously there's the material I've got here. So I've probably got 2 or 3 different like EPs going on. So I'm gonna have to pick one. Well, I'm gonna have to just pick enough material for one EP. So I'm gonna pick about 6 tracks, I think. I'll go for about 6, and then we'll just see how I get on. So that material all gets selected. It's all going to be guitar. I have got a kind of sort of format I want to do things in, because obviously like Hutch is like 2 people, isn't it, really? I like do the synth stuff, and then there's the whole guitar thing as well. So I've sort of got I've got to think about the sonic signpost Z for guitar. That's one thing I've got to do. Why an EP over an album? That's a good question, because when I say an EP, what I'm probably more likely to do is release it bit by bit, because the chances are, right, I thought about this, I can have a lot of fun doing what you call label whoring. So usually what I'll do is, because apart from McRocklin and Hutch, as Hutch playing guitar, I don't exist. So I've got like, I'm in the sort of synthwave, shredwave genre, aren't I? So what I need to do is I need to be hitting some of the big labels. So like some of this material, I'll probably try. I'm likely to try and get signed onto other labels. Yeah, it is. Just but like Thomas, yeah, because Thomas is doing like an EP. So I thought, because so obviously he's going to be busy with that. So I can either sit about and just write tons more McRocklin Hutch stuff, or like do something. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? So it seems to be, because I'm into playing guitar at the minute, that seems to be the obvious choice at the minute. It would either be that, or I'd go back to doing house music, but like just house music's just not really like doing it for me at the minute. So I'm probably going to go for the guitar thing, because I think it's got more interest for me. Plus I think it's funny, isn't it? Like when you think McRocklin Hutch and then McRocklin and Hutch on separate solo albums. A bit like Kiss, isn't it? When you had like the separate, when they all did their own solo albums. Yeah. Anyway, so I mean that's the idea. I'm saying, well, I'm more than toying with it. So, and I've got the itch to record a load of guitars. Right, well, yeah. So, well, people will be seeing the process. I'm going to record a lot of the stuff away from the stream. But obviously on the stream you'll see probably a lot of other stuff. Because I struggle. Well, I don't struggle, but when I'm recording guitars, it just wouldn't make a very good live stream for people. So I'll have to think about how I can do it where it's actually not painful to listen to for you guys. Because inevitably what will happen is, the initial idea creation of playing guitars will certainly be doing that. So you'll get to see me kind of jam over the tracks and then do an initial recording. So that's definitely happening. But actually when it comes down to drilling down and doing the guitars for like real, like these are the takes that are going out, it's not going to be fun listening to me do one beat of a bar indefinitely going round and round and round with two notes, stopping and starting the computer, or editing, doing fine edits. So I'll have to think of a way to just make that a bit more entertaining. So I'll yeah, I'm going to think about that, how to make that entertaining. But for now, we've got all the new material. You will see me probably starting tomorrow. So, alright, I'll think about the jobs now, right? The jobs. Where's my list? So what I need to do is I need to find my journal, wherever that is. Here we go. We'll do the list now. That's what we'll do. That's the first job. Because I really want to do this EP. Let's do this week's jobs. Right, so we'll do a quick bit of planning and then I'll get on with the music. I hope that's alright, everybody. Right. EP. Not quite dry that yet. Right, getting there. So this is old school, isn't it? Low tech. Right then, here we go. Hutch EP. Right, okay. One. So we've got to select the tracks. select 6 tracks. 2. Right, and then what's going to have to happen? It's really good, isn't it? The releasing. Brilliant. Right, so you can select the tracks, and the next thing is I'm going to have to, and I'm doing these jobs today, set up recording template for guitar. Load up 6 tracks. So I think the way I'm going to do this, right, because like problem with guitar is it's easy to start kind of noodling on, isn't it? So the way I'm going to do it is instead of like loading everything into like a fully blown project with all the synths and everything on separate tracks, I'm just going to bounce the track out that I'm going to record on. And I'm going to set that up into a project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the writing phase with when I'm practicing. So I'll pick a track for that day, right? And whenever I pick the guitar up and noodle, whenever I'm plugging in, I'm going to make sure that I'm practicing or doing something that's relevant to that track, okay? So that's going to be the idea there, uploading 6 tracks. So that's a bit of a promise to myself and the routine. Because what can happen on guitar is you just practice, don't you? You just get lost in your own DNA and, you know, start just doing random stuff. So I need to absolutely focus all of my time onto this purpose. So I'm going to use tracks to practice to, and write. Actually, the writing is the practice, really. Oh yeah, change strings. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that today. Drat. Okay. And then 6. So load up 6 tracks. Oh yeah, and write possible purpose. So if they haven't got a purpose, I'm going to write a purpose. That's the other thing. And I think we're pretty much ready to go, so that's enough for today. And I'm just going to do order of priority. So, select 6 tracks, it's definitely number 1. And number 2, template. Number 3, so I pretty much got the... Excellent, and there we go, my messy writing. I've spelt my name right, good. Okay, right, let's get to the automatic machine. Sorry about that, guys. Excellent, I've now made the commitment to doing an EP. Right. Who knows, could end up an album if I get into this. Hi Ryan. Right. Just get the machine up. And we're here. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because obviously, you know, I can feel the excitement and challenge kicking in, but it's manageable because at least I've already got stuff to play on. And I've got a cool idea of how I'm going to sort of run with it in a way. But then there's also, you know, the skill to ratio challenges there. It's like, yes, I can do this, but like this is going to be challenging. So it's basically what I need in my life. Hopefully it won't be painful. So actually we've got, so you'll not recognise this. This is the old automatic music making machine. So it's just so much stuff in here. I see that. Absolutely tons. Hutch EP there. So that was off ages ago. And there's another McRocklin Hutch album. And there's like a load of McRocklin Hutch releases that have happened. So, but we're back to the mastery one. So we're over here. Right, now, as we can see, there's a bit of a bottleneck here going on, and we need to sort this out. So I need to think about how I can move sort of this on. Right, holidays, let's get that one up. See what that's like. Must be that one. So that one's top of the list, so we'll go for that one. And it might be that we actually end up listening to these material with right, and I'm back. Okay, so what I was going to say is it might be that we can move, I'm hoping we can move quite a bit through the machine today and just get the bottleneck out of the way. And that just means I've got to select the tracks. Right, right, now this is an older template, so let's have a look what's going on here. Right, I don't need that. Definitely don't need that. I'm not doing that at the minute. Okay. This has had some work done it. Right, let's have a listen. Right, okay, so I think for this, I just need to put I need a chorus. I think we've got enough parts to build something here. Tell you what, we'll just get that. So this definitely needs some sort of middle section because it's not. It needs a bit more of a story going. Right, let's just have a look at its list of jobs. Have I got anything in there? So that's just obviously something I've knocked out. Right, okay. Right. Yes, I can see why this was kept in the drafting phase actually, because it is missing a whole section. Right, so that background. That can be the first move. And we'll just have that moving over, say, 4 bars for now. I'll give it a bit of a curve. Let's try that again. Right. So that's one problem with Arcade. Which I need sorting out. Right. Okay. And then that's quite cool as well there. Okay, let's do a bit of that. Try and come out. Actually, high pass. And low pass. And that's quite cool as well. Actually, that right, I've another idea now. Oh, this should be good. I'll just do a rough. So. I'm going to stick some different chords there. Oh, thanks, Scott. Appreciate the support. That's lovely. Right. Let's put all these top layers in. That's the idea. It's not perfect, but we don't do perfection, do we? Right, let's think of some chords. What key are we in? A minor. Well, that's easy. Alright. So I think I'll go for our old friend, the electric piano. I'll just save this one moment. Okay. Don't know, audio track. Piano. It's interesting. It's better. Right. Okay. That'll do for now. So I've just got to work out where I want to go on here. So I think starting something on let's go here. Stick the 9th up there, so. Put the 5th in. Works. And I think we'll try, oops, wrong one. Let's just get the Juno onto this. Yeah, arcade software is very very flaky, to say the least. It's pretty much uncontrollable there. Right, I need to stretch my legs. Okay, so that's one session done on that, and that now can be moved to the next section of the machine. So save as. Okay, machine, holidays, into done, and I think we can move these into here, having listened to them. So I think they can all go in there and have done sessions. Right, that one there. So I'm quite familiar with that track. So yeah, this is one thing you'll find sometimes with the machine, is that like stuff you have in certain columns, like that you think you're going to do work on, sometimes you don't, and they're just okay to move on. Let's have a look at this track. Must be that Knief, yeah. I remember doing this one. Okay, we're back. So yes, I remember doing this. This was this is one of the live streams when I was isolating with COVID. Right, yeah, so Zed, I try not to move anything to done without the track being 90% complete. Technically though, if you know in your head what the track needs for it to be done, you could move it into done, because then it's a question of just actually building it. However, having said that, if that's the case, then sometimes it's best maybe to like stay in discovery. So there are two options there. Jesus, what a sound, eh? Okay, now we need something with these hi-hats. I need an offbeat hi-hat. That's for sure. Alright. So that. He's a bit controlling though. So this one. I think that's a bit much there. That section needs to go into that section. that. So I need to create. Sorry, talking to myself here. Right. Let's just do something. What's all I need to do? Duplicate the time. Because for this, we just need a section for the guitar solo at the end. Cool. One last thing. And we'll put this. I just need something more on. Where is it? On these bits here. Take the warp off that. sounding pretty good. I think we'll save that. Go to the machine. That's now, oh, she wants to be down there, doesn't it? Right, and I'll load that one up. Excellent. And another cool thing about this machine that you might be noticing is if I want, I can do very quick short sessions on tracks and just keep things moving, which is great. You couldn't do that in the olden days. Right, break time. God, today is flown past the session. Anybody want to ask me anything? Yeah, setting aside 5 or 6 hours just to work on a song from start to finish, you just don't have to do that now. I mean, it's just, if I had to do it, I could do it, but I don't think it would be the best work that I'd do because, like, you know, this process allows you to just to review and reflect on what you're doing and then improve, doesn't it? In such a kind of easy way. So, Scott, is this something you would like to do? Would you like to release music out of interest? Is that something you're interested in doing? Just having a look at what you were saying before. To support, don't have the nuts to post something myself. Yes, I mean, you know, back in the day, I used to have. But right, okay, Scott, I'll be. So back in the day, God, let's try and imagine that. I used to have two W30 keyboards, which were just like insanely hard to use. And everything was MIDI, and it was all plumbed into this desk. And I had an S2000 sampler. I had a Waldorf. I had some really good stuff actually. I had a Waldorf XT wavetable synth. I had a Novation Supernova, which at the time was just like amazing. I had a Korg Trinity with the touch, like one of the kind of touch screen. At the time, that was like a spaceship. And then it all got fiddly. So then I'd have this Mac running all the MIDI side. And then to really get the audio going, I used to have to run in sync this 12-track digital recorder, and then it was all synced up. And it was slow. And then I'd do a song, and then if I had to go back to it, I'd have to mix every time I wanted to hear the song or do an amendment. I'd have to actually mix it. So actually, in those days, you had to start and finish. I couldn't move on to the next track till that track was really done. So, I mean, on the plus side, you finished things. You know, you did go through the pain. On the negative side of things, when things moved on and we have instant recall, obviously that leads to another problem that I see plenty of, which is, and being in it myself, is you end up having lots of material and you're not finishing anything, and then you have no way of tracking it. hmm Well, Scott, I don't think you have to play. You know, you don't have to dedicate your whole life to doing music. I mean, the beauty of what I'm doing is I'm literally these live and term. I mean, obviously, I get the odd session in here and there, but I don't do any big sessions where there's hours and hours every day. I literally the heavy lift of everything I do is in front of you guys. It's that machine because when I started going live. I decided to show everybody the beginning of the process, and I started the a new machine off, and like all of those ideas are like since sort of December. Okay, so that's the first thing. So if you think about it, you know this stream's about an hour and a half, but then I'm talking and drinking coffee and messing about, and it's just like I'm saving so much time because I'm using this machine. I can track where everything is and at what point of the creative process it is. Um, I do a lot of my thinking outside of the studio, you know. So a lot that, you know, like before I would just run into a track with no kind of plan and just start doing stuff aimlessly and then ruining it a lot of the times, you know. Um, but what I do is the session where we are now is I run on insight. So it's insightful. It's like a performance, you know, which is why I stop talking a lot of the time and then I kind of disappear off into this other world. It's because I'm in flow, and that's when I know I'm doing the best work. But to get there, usually what happens is I've got some sort of plan that I bring into the studio. So you can count that. And I mean, we can all write a list of notes or listen to our music outside of the studio just on a phone. So a lot of preparation we can be done outside of the studio. So there you're like kind of almost doubling your time in the studio um, without having to spend loads of time for a start. So it's all achievable. The other thing is I'm not trying to read into what you said too much, but the kind of what I'll see, like people who then don't release or procrastinate music, is because they feel like they're not, like the music they're making is not going to be good enough. That's not true. So, you know, as a music coach, there's a few core beliefs that I have, and on a daily basis, right? Okay. Um, yes, it would. It would solve like a lot of those problems. Because it takes it, because what that machine's doing is it's taking away the burden of the results focus, isn't it? And it's allowing you just to be in the moment, isn't it? And then because we've got the different sections of that machine, you know, it allows for quality control, so we don't have to worry about the quality because it's kind of taken care of in the background. um but yes, I can't remember what I was talking about. That's a very good point, Zed. Excellent. um so yeah, so the core beliefs. So there are some core beliefs, and on a daily basis these are proved to me by people of all abilities, and actually by people with you would consider with like no abilities. So the first thing is that we already have the skills to make great music. Okay, we're all, if you think about it, we all have a musicality even without playing an instrument. We listen to music all the time, and we know what works and we know what doesn't work. It's just kind of connecting our brain with the hands to make some music, isn't it? So we already have those skills. Yeah. And you know, it's just a great thing to try and kind of take that and then tap into that. So yes, we already have the skills to make great music, and we already have the skills to make great music now. The other thing is that we can make music under any circumstances, and this is very, very important because a lot of the time people are like, oh, I don't feel inspired, or something's happened in their life that's like, you know, because life does chuck horrible things at us, doesn't it? And wrong button. Yes, this is the more meaningful. Yeah, so life does like chuck like kind of horrible things at us. But you know, and there's a lot going on in the world at the minute. But that shouldn't stop creativity, should it? And it shouldn't stop us giving, you know, putting our best foot forward, and still giving to the world through our creativity. That should definitely not stop. So life is a horrible thing, but we can still be creative. So what you got to remember is, you know, like I work in the care system as a musician, right? So I see a lot of people, okay, in their situations with no resources creating music, okay? And I find that absolutely inspirational. So we can all definitely do that. We just have to be able to manage it. And don't wait. You don't, like, I don't wait for, you know, to feel inspired or anything. There's a great book, I've mentioned it before, called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and also Going Professional. And you've got to treat this like your job in a way. I mean, it's a fun job, it's a great job. But at the end of the day, you know, without the music making machine, without anything, it really is just about sitting down and doing the work, but doing it regularly and building a habit. A bit like going to the gym. You'll have good days and you'll have bad days, but I can assure you, your skills will improve and you will make great music. The graph's like this. It's never linear, it's never straight. It's like, you know, ups and downs, isn't it? Especially like assuming everybody sort of like plays guitar as well. You know what it's like when you're practicing guitar. It's like sometimes you're like on top of the world. This is amazing. I'm like superhuman. And then other times you suddenly pick the guitar up the next day and it's like, oh God, this is terrible. But a lot of that's because your awareness has changed as well, and you become focused in on the imperfections of your playing. So yes, I mean, so the other thing is if you know, you've got to think of like your resources as well. I mean, we can actually, you know, make music on a mobile phone. I mean, there are people doing that, making you know, the heavy lift on a phone and releasing it. We can write music on a guitar, just picking it up, and a voice memo, you know, to start. So we can be creative, and we can do it like every day. And then the other belief is that we can make music as good as anybody else. And this is like super important, right? Because I tell everybody the story about me being skill focused, right? So I used to just focus on, right, I am going to be an amazing guitarist. This is Tim when I was like 16, right? So what I'll do is I'm going to plow in my entire life into playing scales, right? And then writing really bad songs. Ersatz, yes. It's great, isn't it, phones? Uh-huh. So I used to just skill focus, and then I thought, right, so if I just become amazing at playing guitar, the world will align with me, and it didn't very much. I mean, it did a little bit, but all I ended up was like getting into okay situations, but then being completely like reactive to them because there was somebody kind of dictating to me, and I was just serving them really as a player and a writer. But not really expressing my own thing. And it did take a lot of years to be able to get in that situation where I could just do my own thing. So that's also very important, you know. So I always felt, you know. And then the other thing with that is then I would then not worry, but then I would wonder why people who didn't practice scales every day and had amazing guitar playing, hired gun, yes. Then I'd think, like, see people who had, like, hardly any skills, but just used them extremely effectively, but that didn't occur to me because I wasn't looking at anything outside of skills, why they had massive record deals and lots of fans. You know, it's because they had all the other areas, conditions of success dialed in. Their habits, their environment, how they approach their decisions through insight and analysis, how they overcame boredom, how they overcame fear, how they mainly engaged with their community. All of these factors were much more dialed in with a small skill focus, so therefore they were much more effective. Whereas I just had a skill focus and absolutely nothing else. I did have a habit of sitting down and just doing nothing else but practice. So, I mean, I did have a band, and I did my first album when I was like 18. It wasn't all bad, but I just wasn't in the situation that I wanted to be in, to be honest, and that's how it was for years and years and years. Till actually I didn't play guitar, and then just started doing electronic music and becoming a dance producer, bizarrely. And then years and years later, I'm back to guitar. There we go. Except it's not like heavily skill focused. But yeah, so what I was saying, Scott, is you can take you can do a lot of things outside of the studio to save time. You don't need massive amounts of skill. You just need to be unique in some way. There's lots of skilled guitar players. There's loads of them who are that are all the same. It's very difficult to tell them apart. I have to really listen to the whole guitar scene 800 times before I start kind of recognising players. But that might be because I'm a bit slow, to be honest with it. But apart from say something like Polyphia, nothing really massively jumps out at me. It's modern. It's all kind of 7-string and tuned down, and yeah. We need, and there's so much music being released at the minute. It's just wallpaper as well, especially with electronic music. And part of that, that's part of the problem, is because everybody can make music now. So there's just a lot of kind of crap that kind of comes out. But finding your unique voice is the priority, not like a skill focus. And the only way you're going to do that is actually by getting the data, and then hey, there's Chili. Hi, Chili. Getting the data, and then modifying what you're doing, course correcting, and moving forward. So there are some core beliefs that I have. We're all musicians, even if we aren't musicians. Just because you can make music doesn't mean you should, really. I think everybody should make music as a protective factor, Chili, because I think exercise. I think it's extremely good for us. And I'll tell you why. Because music is a metaphor for how we're feeling at the time. And, as I say, horrible things happen in life. And we can make a short piece of music. Oh, it's a Jurassic Park quote. Right, okay. You get me, I was like, right, okay, here we go. Big speech coming. But we should all, it's a metaphor for how we're feeling. It's a snapshot in time, and we can disclose all the horrible things that we're feeling without telling anybody anything, and we can tell the story of all the shitty things that happen without actually giving away any details, and people can find comfort in our pain through music. So yeah, I mean, it's a great release, isn't it? I find it great. It chills me out. I get to do it every day, so I'm just I get to make music every day. It's brilliant. And I couldn't imagine not doing it. I'd make music if I had no gear. I'd just a shitty tape recorder, mobile phone, anything. A pen and paper. There's nothing like a pen and paper sequencer. I'd just write my ideas down and imagine it, and just get lost in my own head if I had nothing. I'd actually write music with no gear, no guitar, no nothing, and just sequence it in my head. In fact, that's not so mad, because, oh God, what was the book I read? I think it might have been The Art of Education. And I'm sure, it might have been Mastery. But I remember a story about a guy who ended up basically in a concentration camp. And he survived it, him and his chess club that he had. And they had absolutely nothing. But what they did do is they played mental chess. God, could you imagine that? So, you know, they would hold the image of a chessboard in their heads. Or it wasn't an image, they would work off numbers, which would then trigger an image. There's a way to do it. But I remember that story and I thought that's absolutely profound. And you could actually, you know, technically that's what I would do if I had enough. And I would try and I'd go, right, I'd have Ableton Live and I'd have numbers and notes and I'd try and develop some sort of system in my head where I could create music. And I bet, okay, I mean, God bless him, Jason Becker, he'll have all of that going on. I mean, what an inspiration that guy is. You know, he's making music, isn't he? And that'll all be in his head. And then releasing it out. So incredible. But I don't think we'll ever know, you know, the full system that he has. And it would be great to know, wouldn't it? I would love to know what Jason Becker's creative process is. Because if you could have that process and then be able to practice that in your head away from your studio, that would give you superhuman powers. I'm sure of it. Yeah. Yeah. So there, a bit of a speed. Oh God, it's 7:10. Right, so I've managed to move some stuff. I nearly got onto the third track. I'll make you float, but I'm gonna have to stop there, and we'll do a session tomorrow. Yeah, it is really sad in a way with like Jason, but you know, at the end of the day, he's a brilliant role model for us all. Because you know that, I mean, he's the living proof, right? Okay, of we can make music under any circumstances. I mean, come on, we can, can't we? We can all be doing it. Yeah, definitely. So, right, I didn't get on to I'll Make You Float, which I remember was a piece of music that probably was inspired from a bit of comfort music after being forced to watch It by my daughter. I remember that. I'll Make You Float. And, you know, just like there's that disturbing scene at the beginning, isn't there, with the little kid. And that, like, I'm a parent, and I was like, oh God, do I have to watch this? No, you've got to watch it. And I was forced to watch this thing, and actually I got into it in the end, but that just really put me off. You know, it's a good title for a track, isn't it? I'll Make You Float. Cool. All right, guys. So that's it for today. I'm off to now try and pick tracks for the up and coming EP, the Hutch EP, which will be electronic with some shred, and I'll report back. So I should have. Well, I've got my list of jobs. I've got my list here. So today I've numbered them in priority. Select 6 tracks, set up recording template for guitar, and load up to 6 tracks into that template. That's what I've got to do. And I will report back tomorrow on my progress, and we'll do some more music. Okay, so I'll see you all usual time, 5:30. All right. Catch you later.